Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thanks so much for joining me here on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon here. I hope you guys have been having a great day. So we do have an interesting live stream to go here. We have two big topics we're kind of going to be talking about, I guess. One of them's not really a topic. I guess we're going to be continuing the breakdown of the Finding Harry Potter documentary. I've already put out 2 parts on the channel. I'm having an absolute blast just working our way through all the new content, the images. There was so much stuff to get to. Instead of making one big long video, I decided to kind of chop it up into smaller parts. It gives us more content for the channel, and it's just easier to kind of work our way through, so to speak, with smaller videos. So we're going to be diving into part 3 of breaking down the documentary. There's a lot for us to talk about: the animatronics, the sets, you know, all kinds of things. So we're going to be diving into that. That's going to be really exciting. And also, what we're going to be talking about as well, Avalanche Studios, the developer behind Hogwarts Legacy, they've just hired a brand new community manager. This usually happens before the announcement of a release of a big game. So the fact that they've got a new community manager at Avalanche Studios, does that indicate that we're going to be getting information about Hogwarts Legacy 2 at some point in the near future? Not really sure, but we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But man, I'm literally dying. I'm dying for any kind of little nugget or grain of information about Hogwarts Legacy 2. Just give me something. I don't care what it is. Just a poster. I mean, just a small piece of gameplay. Whatever it is. Just give me some small information about the game. I'm absolutely dying to hear what they're going to be doing with the game. Okay, we've got a few people here in the live chat. It's great to see you guys. So, like we usually do, for those of you who are new around here, what we usually do for the first 5 or 10 minutes, we wait for people to turn up. We chat amongst ourselves. We kind of just, you know, just kind of chill for the first 5 or 10 minutes before we get into our first topic here. But it's great to see some of our regulars. It's great to see some fresh new faces here as well. We've got Scotty, we've got Core, we've got Not Da Mama. I kind of like that name, Not Da Mama. Lizio, Emma, Scotty, Kimmy. Yeah, great to see you guys here. Again, thanks so much for joining me. Just bear with me 1 second. I'm just getting my tablet up and running here. You can see I've got my, oh, you might not be able to see it on the screen. My, got my Ravenclaw background there on my tablet. Representing, of course. I was going to wear my Ravenclaw Letterman jacket, but it's like, it's been really, really warm today. So I decided against it because I'll probably overheat and end up passing out on the stream. So I decided to wear a bit of a thinner jumper today. Okay, like I say, just bear with me 1 minute. I'm just trying to bring up my stream on my tablet. I should have done this before I started the stream, so it's my fault. I was kind of rushing around today trying to get the stream up and running. That's why I was delayed by 15 minutes. I was rendering a video. It took a little bit longer to render the video, and I was kind of rushing around like a bit of a madman, so do forgive me on that front. Okay, so let's just try and pull this up. And by the way, thanks to everyone who joined me on the watch along, like the live kind of watch party that we did for the documentary of Finding Harry Potter. Like, that was an absolutely massive live stream. We had over 140 people on the live stream, which was insane. It was so big. It was so crazy. But you guys absolutely nailed it. You killed it so much. And again, thank you to everyone who turned up in that live stream. I really do appreciate that. Okay, we've got, yeah, like I say, we've got some of our regulars. We got Black Uni Griffin just turned up as well. So it's great to see you. But like I say, guys, 2 main topics today. Continuing our breakdown of the documentary. We got some really fun parts of that documentary to talk about. Some of the animatronics. What other parts? The animatronics and some of the sets and things we're going to be going into. And then, like I say, we'll talk about the community manager for Avalanche Studios, which could indicate Hogwarts Legacy 2 could be on the horizon. We'll have to wait and see. But I'm excited. I'm excited. It would make sense, to me, it would make sense that they release the first look or the first trailer to the game around about the end of the year. As we get closer to November, December, before they release the first episode of the Harry Potter HBO series, right? The Harry Potter fandom and the hype is going to be at an all-time high. So it would make sense around November, December, you would release the first look at Hogwarts Legacy 2 when Harry Potter is at its maximum hype. You want to get the maximum bang for your buck when you put out marketing. That's what it's all about. Marketing is about, you know, investing into the marketing to get those return on dollars when you sell the game. So, you know, to release the first look of the game before the first episode comes out around about the same time, that's when you're going to get the most money from your marketing. So it makes sense that they would do that, but who knows? Stranger things have happened. What's that? Kimmy says, you still feeling Christmassy with the gnome in the background? Oh, my gnome. My little gnome sat in. Yeah, he's kind of watching over me. My little gnome. Yeah, I got that from Christmas. My mum got that for me for Christmas from a shop. It was on discount. And ever since Christmas, he's just been sat in the background there, kind of watching. I've also got my, to be honest, I've also got my Christmas cup here as well, with my candy canes and my sweets on it. So, yeah, I have a bit of a Christmas kind of over theme going on here. Kind of alluding to Christmas, alluding to December, when the first episode is going to be releasing. You know, it's kind of subliminal Christmas kind of going on here. But yeah, I love the fact that the gnome is kind of just sat there, just kind of watching. But yeah, he's going to be watching the stream. He's going to be making sure everything goes well, that there's going to be no technical issues, fingers crossed, and everything's going to be good here. So, by the way, if we look, where are we looking? That direction there, where we've got our, which way am I pointing? That way. It's hard to know which way to point. This way here. So you can see the event board here as well. The amount of subscribers we've been getting over the past week. I only just hit 2,000 subscribers. And now we are currently at, where are we up to now? We're up to 2,081. So we've almost hit 2,100 just like that, which is crazy. So the amount of subscribers has been just insane. How many new subscribers. It's great to have you guys on board. So again, if you're new around here, I really do appreciate that. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's jump into our first topic here. And let's talk about this new community manager that's been hired by Avalanche Studios. And let's see if it has any indication as to what's going on with possibly the release of Hogwarts Legacy 2. Here we go, guys. As Hogwarts Legacy 2 speculation grows. I mean, I am literally craving any of the smallest shred of detail about Hogwarts Legacy 2. Anything. Give me the release date. Give me, like, the smallest bit of information. I'm really, like, it's killing me so much that we've waited this long and we still don't have the smallest bit of information about it. So, Cody, or Vacnar, steps into the role, fueling fresh anticipation for a potential sequel reveal in 2026. I do 100% think we will get a reveal for Hogwarts Legacy 2 this year. I don't think it's going to be towards the end of the year. I think they may do it with, when the new Harry Potter show comes out, I think they may start advertising it around the end of the year. When the Harry Potter hype is at its maximum, that's a good time to start advertising this game. So it makes sense that they would probably start advertising Hogwarts Legacy 2 around the end of the year, like I say. So Avalanche Software has officially hired a new person to run the Hogwarts Legacy community. This is a big step forward for the company as rumors about a sequel continue to grow. Well, we know that they're in development with Hogwarts Legacy 2, so it's not some sort of rumor or speculation on our part. We know they are going full steam ahead with Hogwarts Legacy 2. We just don't know when that game's going to come out or when we're going to get the first look at it. So the statement shared on social media says that Cody, also known as Vacnar, will be the new way for the game's huge global fan base to communicate with developers. Again, he acts like the middleman, so you got developers here, you got the community manager here, then the gamers over here. So if you want to know anything about the future of the game, any details, technical issues, anything like that, the fan base would communicate through the community manager. He would then pass it on to the developers, and that's basically how that chain of command kind of works there. So Cody greeted his fans with a welcome message and expressed his excitement to join the team. He even revealed that he was a Hufflepuff at Hogwarts. Even though the position wasn't complicated, the hire was considered important. Community managers shape communication, set standards, and keep people motivated, especially in games like Hogwarts Legacy with strong, diverse fan communities. Okay. So, since Chandler, the former community manager, quit a few months ago, the job had been open before. People who saw him leave said that the search took longer than they expected. At the time, the delay raised some questions, but now Cody is in charge. Avalanche seems to be ready to reconnect with players once again during what many see as a changing time for the team. Community managers are usually hired closer to a game's release. Yeah, I mean, this is what's got the speculation firing on all cylinders. The fact that you hire a community manager before the release of a game, or when a major update or something is coming, where you're anticipating a lot of fan feedback into your game or into your community, whatever it is that you're building, you would hire out a manager at that point. So that's what's got people speculating heavily here. sometimes just a few months before it comes out. Avalanche's choice to hire one early on the other hand, may point to a longer term plan. Not all game developers do this, but it could mean that the company wants to stay in touch with fans even when there aren't any new games coming out. The timing for this hire has led to more talk about the franchise's future, especially the chance of Hogwarts Legacy 2. Well, we know Hogwarts Legacy 2 is being built, so there's no speculation again on that part. Many people think that 2026 could be a big year for the series, but nothing official has been said yet. The first game was released in 2023. 2023, man, that sounds like a long time ago. It's only a few years ago, but it seems like forever ago since Hogwarts Legacy actually came out. It's still conceivable that the game could have a 4-year development cycle. This could be shorter than the typical 5 to 6 years required to produce large open world games. Increasing the amount of media featuring the Wizarding World supports this notion. The fact that a television program adaptation is supposedly in the works, and they're talking about there, when they talk about program adaptation, they're talking about the connective tissue. Some of the executives over at HBO said that Harry Potter the series and Hogwarts Legacy 2 are going to have connective tissue. So there's supposedly going to be that adaptation and connective tissue between Hogwarts Legacy 2 and the Harry Potter HBO series. Supposedly in the works suggests the synchronized release strategy with a new game and show could increase the brand's popularity. Again, that's going back to what I said. The fact that at the end of the year, the Harry Potter hype is going to be bigger than it's ever been. Before the first episode comes out, it would make sense that then, while the hype is at the maximum, that's when you would start, or you would show the first reveal of Hogwarts Legacy 2. That seems like a good time to kind of show it, in my opinion. They could go another route though, we'll have to wait and see. Although this alignment has not yet been formed, it appears to have potential for synergy. Also, it's important to remember that the original Hogwarts Legacy was delayed several times before its release. Those delays may have given Avalanche a chance to improve its development process, potentially leading to a faster release of a sequel. Fans are still not expecting too much though, because they know how hard it is to make another big RPG experience. The thing that can make the development cycle quicker this time around, they've already got, half of the games already built. All of the assets from Hogwarts Legacy 2, they've already got built. They've got Hogwarts Castle, they've got characters, NPCs, they've got the programming, the coding, the language. All of that is already built. All they need to do is build on top of it. So the development cycle for Hogwarts Legacy 2 could be a lot shorter than the first game, because they had to build the first game from the ground up, obviously. But now they've already got a large chunk of the game. They just need to expand on top of it. So, who knows? Okay, so bringing together people and developers is a primary responsibility of the community manager. This role is filled by Cody when the Hogwarts Legacy group comprises a large, diverse student body. The group is made up of skeptics, critics, diehard fans who can't wait for updates. As a result, the task becomes more important. Good communication can change people's thoughts, calm them down, and make things clear, even when there isn't any big news. Cody may not come right away, but Avalanche is preparing for the next phase of the relationship. Yeah, like I say, they kind of deal with everything. If there's a massive bug or a glitch or something is going wrong with the game that fans aren't liking, they would then communicate to Cody. Cody, what was his name again? My brain is just gone. Cody is his name, or Vacnar. Cody, yeah, so if there was a huge glitch, bug, something wasn't working, something that fans weren't happy with, they would communicate to Cody. Cody or Vacnar would then pass that on to the developers, and then they would try to change it. And that's kind of the community manager's job, to kind of to keep people interested in the game, to fix anything that needs fixing, just to be the front man of the company and kind of to relay any fears and kind of fix anything and, kind of keep fans interested and, keep the community thriving. That's kind of all part of their job there. So there is no sign the new leader will be named soon. Still, it's interesting to think about replacing the existing community manager. There is no sign that the new leader will be named soon. The new leader, we already named him, Cody Vacnar. What are you talking about? Still, it's interesting to think about replacing the existing community manager during this in-between time. Even though there aren't any new updates, this shows that the organization wants to stay involved and keep in touch with people. People are increasingly excited about the new features coming to the game. The basis has been created for a continuous interaction, whether 2026 offers an official announcement or just additional hints about what's to come. Yeah, and I'm excited to see what this guy does, how he's going to be involved, and, if he does, in fact, give us our first kind of bit of information about Hogwarts Legacy 2. You never know. They've hired a new community manager. Is there a reason? Are they anticipating, some of the first details about Hogwarts Legacy 2? Again, it's spurred on the hype, the anticipation, the kind of talk about the sequel, and people are excited. So, you hear about this person being hired as a brand new community manager for Avalanche Studios, and Hogwarts Legacy 2, is on the horizon. Does this kind of give us a kind of indirect kind of confirmation that Hogwarts Legacy 2 is just on the horizon to be announced? Or does it have nothing to do with Hogwarts Legacy 2? And they're just trying to keep people interested in the first game, and they're trying to, you know, just trying to fill that role, so to speak, and just try to keep fans happy of the already existing game. Whatever your thoughts are here, jump down in the comment section or the live chat and let me know what you think about this. So guys, what do you think about that new community manager? Again, does that give us some sort of indication that Hogwarts Legacy 2 could be on the horizon? I mean, as an educated guess, again, it makes sense that they're going to sort of give us the first look around about the same time that the first episode for the series comes out. Build on that hype, build on that momentum, get all your eyes on, you know, the Hogwarts Legacy 2 sequel. And again, the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to marketing. That makes the most amount of sense to me. So that's kind of my take on it. But as when it comes to the details, like someone was just asking in the chat a minute ago, is it going to have Quidditch? I mean, that's one of the biggest requested things that was missing from the first game, you know, the ability to play Quidditch. Whether that's going to be there or not, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe for whatever reason, they didn't put it in the first game. Maybe the mechanics just couldn't work. They couldn't get it to work with the game. They felt that, you know, resources and manpower were better put to other parts of the game rather than trying to have Quidditch. Who knows? Who knows at this point? But I'm sure they will include it to some degree. Whether they're going to put it in there, I mean, my guess is as good as yours, guys. But I want to see more in-depth classes. I want to see more in-depth customization. The one thing that I do want to see as well, and this is one nitpick of mine, I don't think the loot was all that exciting in Hogwarts Legacy. It hates to say that. I enjoy the game, and I love the game, so don't get me wrong. I really do love the game. I've spent hours and hours and hours exploring and walking around and all kinds of things, as you guys know. But I don't think the loot was all that exciting. I want more kind of crazy loot and kind of crazy hats, crazy robes, different brooms. I want, you know, different mounts we can ride around on, just all kinds of craziness. The ability to maybe open up more shops, or open up open up your own, maybe decorate your own kind of house or something, you know, have a house in Hogsmeade or something. I think all that kind of stuff would be fun. But I mean, there's so many mechanics they could put in there. We'll have to wait and see again. But it's killing me to not know any of the details at the moment. But I'm sure we're going to get some before the end of the year. And as soon as we do, I will be reporting on it for you guys as soon as that news becomes available. So saying that, do make sure you stay tuned to the channel. Do hit the subscribe button if you're not a subscriber, and hit the notification bell. So every time I upload a new video, you do get notified from that notification bell. Okay, guys. Also, while we're here and while I'm kind of doing a shameless plug, do make sure you join me on social media as well. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm also on X or Twitter. I post up, you know, all kinds of different things, memes, vlogs, you know, news, all kinds of things like that. So join me on social media. I'm just going to put up a quick advert here, guys. Okay, guys, so with that down, let's jump into our main topic, where we're going to be moving on to part 3 of my breakdown of Finding Harry, the craft behind the magic, the documentary. Let's dive into that. There's a lot of different content, images and stuff for us to break down that I'm sure you guys will find interesting. So let's dive straight into that. As always, thanks so much for being here, clicking on this video and joining me as we dive back into the Wizarding World. So this is part 3 of our breakdown of Finding Harry Potter, the craft behind the magic, the breakdown of the documentary that landed on HBO a few days ago. We've been doing individual parts and videos of the breakdown just to make it more palatable, just to make the videos more consumable, and to give us a bit more content to talk about here on the channel. So let's dive into part 3. Let's start breaking down this content, and let's see what kind of trouble we can get into, so to speak. Okay, so up first, from Wizarding World Direct. First look at some of the creatures we will get to see in the first season of the Harry Potter TV series. So we have Jobberknolls, Flobberworms, and Fire Crabs. I have to say the animatronics we see were truly impressive. Yeah, especially when it comes to like the owls, but they kind of have this kind of Terminator vibe. We saw some of the concept art of what the owl looks like without the feathers, and it looks like a Terminator kind of vibe underneath. Like, it's kind of scary. If you put like a rogue AI into that owl, that would be a scary thing to come across. But anyway, up first, we have the Jobberknoll. So, I love the Jobberknoll, man. This thing is so damn cute. Imagine having this little puffy bird kind of in a cage. But the thing is with the Jobberknoll, they're actually quiet their entire life. It's not up until they die that they release like a really high-pitched noise. And the noise that they release just before they die is all the sounds they've ever heard in their life. They release the sound, but they release it backwards just before they die. So that's a bit of really interesting trivia about the Jobberknoll. They release a high-pitched noise, but it's all the sounds they've ever heard, but backwards. That's before they die. But for the rest of their lives, they remain completely silent. So, you know, a bit of interesting trivia there about the Jobberknolls. But, yeah, I love them. They're just like these cute little kind of like puffy looking birds. And I just want to pick one up and I just want to pet the little guy like that. But yeah, I mean, look at him. Just a cute little thing. Okay, moving on to our Flobberworms. So, there's nothing like particularly interesting about these. They're just like giant maggots or giant worms. But in the actual video, the documentary, when one of the crew members picks them up, the visual effects on the worms, man, are so good. They look so real. And as he picks it up and the slime like falls off of the worms, they've done a phenomenal job making the practical effects on these things look really good. And when we see them in the show, up close, they're going to look so disgusting and so creepy. Again, when he picks it up and the slime kind of just falls off of it, I'm like, damn, that looks good, man. And the fact they're going practical, I mean, you could easily do a CGI version of this, like, just to save time. But the fact that they've gone practical with these Flobberworms, just goes to show, once again, they're going all in with the visual effects here, with the practical effects, I should say. Up next, we've got the Fire Crabs. I love the Fire Crabs. I think they look awesome. Basically, they're like huge turtles, so to speak, tortoises, if you want to be more specific. Huge tortoises, and they've got these kind of like crystalline kind of structures on their back, and they release a massive jet of fire from their backsides. So, you know, you don't want to stand behind one of them because they'll eject like a massive kind of flamethrower out of their backside. But, yeah, they're very strange, the fact they're called fire crabs, but they kind of look like tortoises, and they have, like, flamethrowers. But, yeah, really, really cool. And we have this image here on Diagon Alley. You can see one of them there ejecting this huge kind of flame out the back there. So, there's another one kind of over here on the side as well, which is interesting. So, I'm assuming when we see Diagon Alley, there'll be a camera kind of working its way down Diagon Alley, and there's going to be, like, fire crabs. Are they being sold? Are they being sold as pets? Are they being sold as a commodity? I'm not really sure exactly what the context is. But the fact that we see this one ejecting a massive flame is very, very interesting. Okay, let's move on to our next post here. So, up next, from Wizarding World Direct again, first look at the Hogsmeade Railway crest in the Harry Potter TV series, all aboard the Hogwarts Express. Don't mind if I do. And the fact that I've actually been on the Hogwarts Express when I went to the Harry Potter studio tour in London, and they've got the Hogwarts Express, and you can go onto the carriages, and you can walk through the carriages. By the way, do check out my vlog of that, guys. It's on the channel. But yeah, the fact that I got to actually walk through the Hogwarts Express was pretty damn crazy. Okay, so we have this new crest here, and I mean, it looks cool. It does look cool. To me, it evokes kind of like a nautical theme. It looks like something I would see on side of a boat rather than a train. I don't know why, but when I look at it, it makes me think of a boat. It makes me think of sailing. I'm not sure why. I think it's because of the blue and the white kind of striped flags here on the crest. It makes me think of a boat. I'm not sure why. Does anyone else get that? Kind of like a nautical kind of theme? Blue and white sometimes, you know, associate with nautical type stuff. We've got like a tree in the top left-hand corner. We've got an owl in the bottom right-hand corner. We've got this kind of golden trim around the edge, and it says Hogsmeade Railway. But yeah, other than that, it's a cool symbol. But again, to me, it's something that it looks like you would see It looks like something you would see on a boat, not a train. I don't know why. I can't really explain why, but again, yeah. Other than that, the actual crest here looks pretty cool. It's a shame that the picture's so dark, but yeah, it looks pretty good. Other than that, okay, moving on here. So, Hermione, Harry and Ron, Arabella Stanton, Dominic McLaughlin, and Alistair Stowe after being cast in the Harry Potter TV series. And we have this beautiful picture here kind of representing the chemistry and the kind of the closeness between the trio, which is exactly what you want. Again, Hermione Granger, Arabella Stanton, my favourite casting of the entire show. Behind that is Nick Frost. And then up third, who did I say was up third? I confirmed my third favourite casting the other day, but I can't remember who I said it was. It doesn't matter anyway, guys. I'll come back to that at some point. But yeah, Arabella Stanton, my favourite casting of the entire show. Dominic McLaughlin as well, and then obviously Alistair Stowe. And they're just chilling out there on set, probably between takes or whatever they're doing. But great to see them together, the chemistry, the smile on their face, and hopefully, hopefully their chemistry comes through on screen and that, projects into the series. But a great picture there, all of them smiling. Really, really nice. Okay, let's keep going. So, better look at Scabbers in the Harry Potter TV series. There are two different animatronics for Ron's rat. One that moves its head and is quite flexible, and the other that bites. So, man, I loved this part of the documentary. I really did. When he was holding, like, Scabbers, and it's kind of this, like, robotic Scabbers. You can see there on the left-hand side. That's what it looks like without the skin. It looks kind of really creepy. You can see the outer shell. You can see all the electrical cables and everything in its head. And then that's what it looks like with all the kind of the skin on it. And he was kind of demonstrating how it's kind of flexible, how Ron can actually hold Scabbers. And at the same time, Scabbers can actually move as Ron's kind of holding it. And I think they talked about, how the electronics inside is so small. The fact that it can move, and they can build it into a rat, which is kind of cool. Then we've got this Scabbers here with another one of the crew members. Like, she's got her finger like that, and then Scabbers is kind of biting onto the end of her finger there. I love Scabbers. He's a cute little thing, and I can't wait to see more of him crop up in the series. Okay, moving on here. First look at the chocolate frog in the Harry Potter TV series. I love the fact that it's got colours. So, we did talk about this on the channel a little bit. We did discuss this when we were doing the live watch party. So we've got the new kind of box here for the chocolate frog, and again, very infused with nature. It does look very similar to the Bertie Bott's all flavored beans, where it's got this more kind of hipster, naturalistic, darker kind of greens and kind of browns, and kind of like a hipster kind of vintage hipster vibe kind of going on with the packaging almost. I kind of like the way that it's kind of, cut into these kind of weird shapes, and the way that it kind of folds out. I think that's kind of cool. Then we've got the actual chocolate frog itself. Some people were saying, in the live watch stream that we did for the documentary, some people were saying it looks too realistic. It looks unpalatable. It's supposed to be a chocolate frog, and the fact that it's got colours and his eyes are yellow and it looks realistic, is it something you would actually want to eat because it looks too realistic? I'm not sure, but I think it looks really, really cute. And man, I bet it's tasty as hell, but yeah, it looks really cute. Imagine that thing kind of pouncing around all over the place and you're trying to capture it. But I think it looks really sweet and it looks really cute. It's like something I'd want to keep as a pet, to be honest. But I love the packaging. I think the frog looks great coloured. But again, there were people saying, it looks too realistic. What do you guys think about that? Do you think it looks too realistic? Do you think it should go back to the design where it's kind of like a chocolate covered frog rather than a green, rather than a more realistic take? I would love to know what you guys think about that. Okay, guys, so we got a few more posts to get to here before we finish off. So, from Wisdom World Direct, personally, I think it was just right, talking about the documentary, not showing too much on the Harry Potter TV series, but enough for us to get an overall direction. Yeah, that's the one thing that I was worried about with the documentary, that they would give us far too much away, but they didn't. I mean, they didn't show us any of the magic. They didn't show us any overarching shots of Diagon Alley or Privet Drive. They showed us Privet Drive from the ground, but they didn't show us, Hogwarts from above. They didn't show us Diagon Alley or any kind of landscape shots or anything like that. So there's still a lot of good content for us to have a first look, in the first season. They showed a lot, but not too much. So they did hit that perfect balance, I think, at least in my opinion. Some of you guys may feel different, but I would love to know, in the documentary, do you feel that they showed too much, or do you feel that they didn't show enough, or did they, like me, think that they got the kind of perfect balance? But anyway, let's move on to these images. So I'm going to skip past this one because we already talked about this in a previous video. This kind of harvest with pumpkins. We've got the suits of armor in the background. We've got the massive kind of steel door on the left with all the lock-in mechanisms, which is pretty cool. So moving on here. This is one of my favorite images as well. Ilops Owl Emporium. This is my favorite shop in Diagon Alley. I love owls so much. I've actually considered doing a live, you can do an owl experience. Just down the road from me, about a 30-40 minute drive from me, there's an owl experience in the forest, and I'm considering doing it and making it into a vlog, where you can have an owl on your arm, and you can, you know, feed it treats and send it hunting and do all kinds of things. But I love owls so much, and Ilops Emporium is going to be absolutely incredible. I love this kind of huge kind of, I'm not even sure what it's made out of, like metal or steel or copper. Again, I really don't know what it's made out of. But I love this gigantic owl with his wings open. Then we've got this kind of mosaic tile pattern with these brown owls kind of in these little windows that's up on the shop front as well. We've got a little cage here at the front. And it just looks really, really nice. It does. You see what I mean? Where they're giving us a shot of Ilops Emporium, but they're not showing us the shop window. They're showing us the sign and kind of a bit of the banner of the top of the shop, but we don't get a good look at it. That's another example of showing us enough, but not showing too much. So it's kind of a really big tease. I want to know what the shop window actually looks like. Okay, moving forward, we've got a shot there of Arabella Stanton and her audition tape. That was one thing they showed in the documentary, which I sort of predicted or guessed about before the documentary. I was saying on one of our live streams or one of the videos before the actual documentary aired, I was saying it's possible they could show the audition tapes of the trio. Then I thought, nah, I doubt they're going to go into that. They've only got 30 minutes. They're probably not going to show the audition tapes, but they actually did. And it's pretty incredible. I would love to see at length more of the audition tapes of the different characters. But it was so cool that we had two kind of casting directors talking back and forth. And in the background, we had Ron, Hermione, and Harry, their kind of audition tapes playing. That was really cool. I didn't think they would show that. We got John Lithgow there, who was obviously talking during the documentary. He says, you wait forever to do something that means so much to people. That was one of the lines that he said in the documentary, and that really resonated for me. You wait forever to do something that means so much to people. That's the thing, isn't it? You can wait your entire life, but there can be a small part of your life where you do something that has a lot of meaning to a lot of people, which makes everything worth it. You know what I mean? Like, you can work hard, and you can do certain things that mean a lot to people, and that's kind of what life is about. But it kind of resonated with me. You wait forever to do something that means a lot to people. Just amazing. Okay, up next, we've got 2 posts left to go here. I was right, it was indeed a dug bog. So, yeah, we saw in the documentary as well, the trailer for the documentary. They showed like an animatronic without the skin on it. And a lot of people were kind of discussing and kind of debating what that animatronic was going to be. One of the biggest theories was that it was going to be a dug bog. And absolutely it turned out to be true. And again, they're building a practical dug bog here. So we've got practical, flobberworms, fire crabs, jubinals, dug bogs. So they're going all practical with these animatronics and these creatures, which is amazing. Again, they could skip out. They could just go CGI if they wanted to. But the fact they're actually building tangible creatures, it's going to make everything look so much more real. But this guy looks crazy as hell, man. You would not want to step on one of these. It'll bite your ankles, bite your foot off in a swamp. Yeah, you just wouldn't want to come across any of these kind of little nasty creatures. They look like kind of giant frogs in a way, unless that's just me. But yeah, you wouldn't want this thing biting at your ankles. But again, I love the fact they've gone practical. This thing looks ghastly as hell. I definitely wouldn't want to accidentally come across one, that's for sure. Okay, and finally, we move on to this. The concept art revealed in Finding Harry seems to match the footage we've seen of Lily and James Potter filming the Harry Potter TV series. The two characters crossing a bridge with pyrotechnic effects. So we looked at this leak. This came out a long time ago now, when they leaked a lot of images from a park that they were filming up near London, I think. And there seems to be some concept art. We can see what Lily and James Potter here. And it looks like they're walking across a bridge. And it looks like Lily James is potentially holding a wand. And there's kind of like sparks coming out of it. Like she's dragging it along the fence. Or she's doing sparks as it's going across the bridge. Then we see the kind of the leaked images here from that set. Again, where they're going across that bridge that we looked at a long time ago. And it's pretty damn cool. And it's great to see. But yeah, Lily and James Potter, man, I can't wait to see more of them. You know, you see them injected into the series, their relationship with Harry and all that kind of stuff. I'm so excited. And the fact that we got a bit of concept art there is a really great way to kind of finish off this video. So there you go, guys. So there's part 3 of our breaking down of Finding Harry, the craft behind the magic. I'm not sure if we have enough content to make a 4th part. I'll have to have a look and see what else, see if there's anything else that we haven't covered. But I've been having a blast breaking this down and talking about it, giving my thoughts and opinions, and getting your comments, your thoughts, your opinions on the videos as well. It's been amazing to hear what you guys have thought about the content. Not all of you have enjoyed the content. Some of you have, some of you haven't. Some of you have had like mixed reactions and feelings to different parts of the documentary, and that's completely understandable. We're all different people. We all have subjective thoughts about, you know, the content that we're seeing here. So guys, now that you've seen this, jump into the live chat or the comment section, leave your thoughts, your comments, your theories, your opinions on what we've covered in this part 3 of breaking down Finding Harry Potter. What stands out to you? Are there things you like, things you don't like? Whatever your thoughts are, like I say, leave them in the live chat or down below in the comment section. I would love to hear your thoughts on the documentary and the content we covered. So there we go, guys. So that was part 3 there of the breakdown of Finding Harry, the craft behind the magic. And again, just the fact that we even got that documentary, a lot of people were complaining, oh, it's only half an hour long, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. Man, it's like having an extra episode. What's to complain about? It's great. It looks fantastic. And yeah, the fact that we got it like 8 months in advance, I'm still like scratching my head. Every time I kind of see it come up on my feed, you know, people are talking about Finding Harry Potter, the documentary, I'm like, I still don't understand. Why did they release it 8 months in advance? I don't quite understand it. It must be a marketing thing. Again, it confuses me a little bit. I still don't really understand. So guys, what we're going to do, the next part of the stream here, so I'm going to pull up this news story. We're going to be talking about Tom Felton and Draco Malfoy. So it looks like, obviously Tom Felton is still playing Draco Malfoy on Broadway. He's extended his performance now, so if you do want to go and watch him over in the US on Broadway, he's extended his performance dates, so you've got more chance, more opportunity to see him. We'll dive into those details in just a sec. Then towards the end of the stream, what we're going to do, like I say, guys, if you have any questions about anything to do with the Harry Potter series, the franchise, the movies, anything like that, just fire in some questions in the live chat, and we'll address your questions towards the end of the stream. Okay, so let me pull this up quickly if I can find it. Bear with me 1 second. Let me grab this story here from Tom Felton. I've got it on here somewhere. Okay, here we go. Let me pull this up. And, okay. So, here we go. So, this is also a story here. So, Tom Felton extends record-breaking run in Harry Potter on Broadway. So, Tom Felton has extended his record-breaking run in Broadway production of Harry Potter and the Cursed Child at the Lyric Theatre in New York. Let me just make that a bit smaller. The film star who originated the role of Draco Malfoy in the Harry Potter film franchise made his Broadway debut on the stage production in November of 2025, and we remember that first video that came out of showing him returning to the Draco Malfoy character. He came out on stage, he broke down in tears, he got a standing ovation from the crowd, and it was such an emotional return to the character. I mean, wow, after all this time, what was it, like 19 years? 19, 20 years? Yeah, it says there at the bottom of the article, 19 years. Coming back to continue the same character. What an emotional roller coaster ride for Tom Felton. I was so happy for the guy to come back. He's just such a charming guy. Okay, so made his Broadway debut on stage in November 2025. Producers announced that he will now continue in the role of Draco until Sunday, November the 1st, 2026. So, like I say, he's extending his performances all the way up until November. So, if you are in the US or you're planning to go to the US or whatever it may be, you now have more opportunity to see him on stage. This is something I absolutely 100% have to do. I don't care what I have to do, whether I have to rob a bank, whether I have to, print some money, I don't know, discover some gold. Whatever it is I have to do to get the money, I definitely have to get back to New York, and I have to go and see Tom Felton. And Wyatt Iron Strong, I should say. The tickets are expensive. Okay, so since Felton joined the cast, the production has seen a massive surge at the box office, consistently holding the #1 spot for Broadway grosses. The play set a new house record for the Lyric Theatre during the week ending 28th of December 2025, pulling in a staggering $3.7 million over 9 performances. $3.7 million. No wonder they want Tom Felton to continue playing Draco. I bet they backed up a truck full of gold to his house and said, Tom, we need you to continue playing Draco. We're making so much money. Here's all the money. Come back, continue playing him for a longer period. We're going to generate money together. Everyone's going to win. Felton's casting marks the first time a member of the original film cast joined the stage play, which follows the lives of Harry, Ron, Hermione, and Draco as adults, 19 years after the events of the Deathly Hallows. So there we go, guys. I thought that was an interesting story for us to bring up and for us to talk about. Again, I mean, the fact that Tom Felton came back after all that time, one of the OG cast members, it's been fantastic. And we did have some comments here that I did want to get to in the chat. Let me see if I can find it. Lizzie Leo says, the new packaging looks like it's marketed towards wizard adults instead of wizard children. That's a very, very valid point now that I think about it. Now that you bring that up, when we look at Bertie Beans all flavors, all flavor Bertie Beans, whatever it's called, my brain's not working today. Bertie Beans, Bertie Bott's all flavored beans, yeah, whatever it is. My brain is just not with it. Like, I didn't get enough sleep last night. I'm just really tired today. But anyway, the all beans packaging and the chocolate frog packaging, yeah, the colors are a lot more muted. They're not as bright. They do look like they're kind of marketed towards adults, like adult wizards. That's absolutely true. And you do make a really valid point there. You know, bringing up that point, that is a really well made point that I hadn't considered, that it looks like it's targeted towards adults. Yeah, maybe they might have a children's version as well when we see the series, who knows? But the colors are, again, they're a lot more muted, a lot more kind of darker in the contrast. They don't pop out as much. You know, when you design stuff for kids, like designing anything for children is so easy. All you need is bright colors. No matter what you're making, whether it's a teddy bear, whether it's an action figure, whether it's a, you know, like a cup for them to drink out of, whether it's a plate, you know, cutlery, just make it bright. That's literally all you need to do. Make bright colors and kids will love it. That's literally all you have to do. And there's no bright colors on any of this packaging, which again, like your point brings up, there, Liz Leo, sorry. It brings up the fact that, yeah, it's probably marketed towards the adults. So you bring up a good point there. Thanks for bringing that up. Okay, from Addict Kier, I think that's how you say your username. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. What do you think the first episode will end with? Like, which scene? Do you know what I think the first episode could end with? This is a guess on my part. I'm not sure 100%, but if I had to guess, I think the first way to end the first episode, potentially Harry's Hogwarts acceptance letter coming through the post. And you know that picture that we saw? Was it in the documentary or the trailer? I can't remember where it's from, but we saw that that picture where Harry's picking up the Hogwarts acceptance letter. I think that could be a fantastic way to end off the first episode. The first episode's going to be about Harry living with the Dursleys, you know, the child abuse he deals with at home. It's going to show a bit of his school life and how he deals with the abuse at school. And then as we get towards the end of the episode, the tone shifts. It becomes brighter. And at the very end of the episode, the some post drops onto the floor. Harry walks into the hallway. He picks up his acceptance letter and he looks at it. And then, you know, that's the end of the first episode. I think that would be a great way to end off the episode. That's just my personal opinion, though. You guys may feel a bit different on that. But yeah. Yeah, okay. So yeah, that's what I think the first episode could end with. But I do think, I have said, I do think there will be 2 episodes to debut in this series. I don't know that for a fact, but a lot of these big tentpole projects, when it comes to TV series, they seem to have this thing where they debut with 2 episodes. Again, there's nothing to confirm that. No one said that to me. There's no executives at HBO that have confirmed that, no actors, but I'm just guessing maybe 2 episodes they might drop with. So again, we'll have to wait and see how that exactly turns out. Okay, Kimmy says, did anyone notice that the new Bertie Bott's packaging is Jack and the Beanstalk? Yeah, there's been a lot of people that have brought that up in the comment section. That makes a valid point. It's very interesting, the packaging. To me, it just evokes kind of like a vintage, hipster kind of vibe. These kind of like, all of the nature being intertwined with the costumes and the packaging and the sets. It brings out this kind of hipster vibe, you know, like tree-hugging, hipster. You know, like the hipsters where they wear dreads and they have the baggy trousers. And they have all the weaves and the patterns, and it's all kind of intertwined with nature, like the hipster vibe. That's what it kind of gives me, that kind of hipstery type vibe. Kimmy also says, tiny sneak peek of Flitwick sitting next to Snape at the table in the Great Hall. Yes, I did see that. I'm not sure if I looked at that image in one of the breakdown videos that I've done. But yeah, you see Snape. I think is it Professor Sprout, Snape, and then next to Professor Sprout on the other side, like it's cut off from the image, but you just see the edge of Professor Flitwick on the edge of the image. So yeah, Snape, Professor Sprout, and then I think Flickwick. You just see the edge of him. You can't really make out much detail because again, the picture is dark and it kind of cuts off part of the side of his face. But I do think you do see him, like you say, in that image, which is kind of cool. Wyatt says the new Hagrid looks disappointing. What do you mean looks disappointing? That's a very vague kind of term. When something looks disappointing, do you have any further points to elaborate on why you think he's disappointing? I disagree with you. I don't think he looks disappointing, but again, as fans, we can disagree. But when you say he looks disappointing, what exactly do you mean? Like, is there any specifics? Do let me know in the chat. I would love to pick up on any specifics. Core says Hagrid is super cool and Nick Frost is going to be a fantastic Hagrid. Absolutely. From everything that I've seen so far, the costume looks great. I think the actor is great. I think he's going to inject some humor into the role as well. Nick Frost, he does great comedic acting, comedic timing in some of the films and shows and things that he's been in. Nick Frost, he just nails that comedic timing. There's something charming about the guy. When you're watching him on screen, it feels like you're receiving a hug. Like the guy is just, you feel comfortable with him, and there's something charming and just nice about Nick Frost, and that comes through in the Hagrid costume. I think like the guy just seems charming, and like I just like this warm kind of feeling. I don't know what it is. That's just me. That's the kind of feeling I get from Nick Frost. Okay, so Copter Dre. I'm not sure how you say your name. I do apologize. COPT Dre 491. Hagrid looks not reckless enough. Yeah, I mean, he's described as being kind of like disheveled a little bit, isn't he? Kind of like a shaggy look to him, where, you know, he's supposed to be kind of like a wild looking man. So I do get that. He looks a bit tamed, kind of like he looks a bit more groomed. In the books, he's described as kind of like this wild, kind of untamed kind of looking guy, like half giant. So I get where people are coming from with that. But again, that's a small nitpick that I'm not too worried about. I think he looks great. I think his costumes and his pictures have looked pretty good so far. Okay, Emma says, yes, you should go. I hope you can. Talking about the Broadway play in New York. I went to New York last year in January. I absolutely had a fantastic time. I visited the Harry Potter shop in New York. I might re-upload my Harry Potter shop visit to New York when I was in New York. I might re-upload that to the channel so you guys can see it again. I'll try to put it in a higher definition as well. But the shop is absolutely incredible, and I had a great time in New York, and I would love to go back, and I would love to watch the Broadway play of The Cursed Child. But again, you know, with everything going on with the political sphere at the moment, you know, fuel prices are going up. Airline tickets are increasing in their prices because jet fuel is becoming more and more sparse because of the war going on in the Middle East. So, you know, vacation prices, ticket prices, everything is on the rise at the moment. So it's very unlikely that I'm going to be able to afford it anytime in the near future. But my birthday's coming up next month. I may just splurge on a trip to New York, even if I'm only there for a weekend. I'll see how it goes. Okay, I wanted to go, and the ticket prices were around $1,000 a piece. Why it says the ticket prices were $1,000 a piece for the Cursed Child? That doesn't sound right to me. I don't believe you. Unless you show me a screenshot of that ticket price of $1,000, I don't believe you. I don't think they would charge $1,000 for a ticket. That's absurd. Okay, the new Voldemort will be Peter Dinklage. I very much doubt that. I think it's going to be Daniel Radcliffe. Yes, it was in the teaser. Each episode better be at least an hour. I think it'll be anywhere from 35 minutes to an hour. I mean, some of these big tentpole series, a lot of their episodes kind of jump all over the place. You can have an episode that's kind of like 40 minutes. You can have an episode that's an hour. Maybe when they get to episode 4 and 5, they do like a mid-season special where like episode 4 or episode 5 is like an hour and a half long. So they may have a mid-season special long episode. They could do that. I've seen some shows do that before. So again, we'll have to wait and see. Or maybe episode 8. Maybe episode 8, the finale in the first season, maybe they make that longer. Again, until they release any more information about the titles of the episodes and the runtime, we're kind of left in the dark. We can only speculate at this point. Okay, so what else have we got here? The beard sucks and his voice doesn't sound like Hagrid. He looks like something out of Comic-Con convention. He doesn't give me Hagrid vibes. Yeah, that's completely understandable. I have seen a lot of people saying about his voice, he doesn't sound like Hagrid. Again, to me, someone's voice being a little bit different isn't something that I'm going to nitpick on all that much. It's about the core portrayal and the core elements of what makes Hagrid Hagrid. That's what's important to me. When it comes to kind of like the voice, that's something after 5 seconds of listening to him, is something you'll get used to. Oh, this is what he sounds like. Okay, that's kind of over and done with. Like, after 5 seconds, okay, he sounds like this. And then you just continue on with the series. It's not something that's really going to annoy me. Unless he came out with something ridiculous, like a Jamaican accent or something, like, that sounded ridiculous, then yeah, it would be a massive issue. But, I mean, you know, just because his accent doesn't sound, you know, completely on point, it's not something that's that big for me. But I understand where you're coming from, so... Okay, Kimmy also says, agree with the beard, Wyatt. He doesn't, but he doesn't have to sound identical to Robbie. Yeah, exactly, that's the thing. Again, like, things like voices, again, unless the accent is completely out of left field, like, unless we have some sort of, I don't know, like, just some crazy accent from, you know, like, South American accent, like a Mexican accent or Indian accent, something that's completely devoid away from the series, then, you know, that's something completely different. And Kimmy also says, I think they said Ron is going to be Northern and doesn't sound like Rupert Grint, and there's no complaint about that. Yeah, so the voices for me, it's not really a big deal. It's not something I'm all that concerned with. It's not something that's, you know, on my list of discrepancies, so to speak. The biggest thing that I'm thinking about at the moment, in terms of not necessarily like things that I don't like, but there's a few things that I'm kind of like, I'm not sure about this. Okay, number one is how dark the trailer looked, right? If the series looks that dark, there's going to be a lot of people that complain about it. Again, I'm kind of nitpicking here, but the trailer was very, very dark. There was very low light. It was hard to make out some of the details and some of the scenes. I've talked about this in previous videos. Some people say that it looked fine, but you can't help but admit that it did look very, very dark in some spots. Also, another thing that I'm kind of nitpicking about, some of the hats that some of the characters are wearing. I'm like, the hats look really wild. They look kind of crazy. Again, it's not a big deal. It's really not. But when I look at Professor McGonagall's hat, I'm like, that hat looks wild. And Dumbledore's hat looks kind of crazy as well. Again, it's just hats. Talking about hats, the Sorting Hat. The Sorting Hat is very, very dark as well. When we saw the trailer, the Sorting Hat is very dark compared to its movie counterpart. And it looks almost like almost like a gothic kind of rundown version, like a moody emo version of the Sorting Hat. But yeah, so there's a few dark elements in there, but they could brighten that up. We could see it in context in the series. Who knows? But I can't help but, you know, look at that. Also, the fact that they've hidden the magic. There's no magic. There's no magical creatures. They haven't shown any magical creatures in the trailer, and they haven't shown any of the CGI, the magic CGI yet. So that's something I'm kind of like, that they seem to be hiding the magic. That's something I've talked about as well, but it's not a big point. They're probably still working on it. They probably still haven't finished with the CGI, so they don't want to show people. They don't want to give away too much, so to speak, before the first episodes come out. So for me, the accent is important. In the books, he talks different, but the rest is fine. Emma says that. And Wyatt says, the sets and costumes look incredible. Yeah, I mean, they do. I mean, everything so far. Diagon Alley looks amazing. Okay, the one set for me that I'm not 100% sold on is Gringotts Bank. It looks a bit plain. It's literally just like a big stone wall with like 4 stone pillars. And there's no really design to it. It looks kind of a bit too plain. Gringotts Bank. Let me just bring up a picture of it quickly. Let me grab a picture of it here. Bear with me 1 second, guys. I'm just going to grab a picture of Gringotts here. Where is it? If I go to documentary, I go to sets. I've got on my computer, right, I've sorted this all out into folders. I've got documentary folder, then I've got all of these hundreds of folders. I've got sets, I've got characters, animatronics. I've got all of these kind of folders broken down with all the images and videos in different folders so I can get to them quickly. But again, even though I've tried to set it up, it's still complicated to find. Okay, sets. Do I have I don't actually have a shot of Gringotts Bank. Okay, I'll have to find one on Google. Bear with me 1 second. Gringotts Bank HBO series. Won't be a sec here. Okay, there it is. I've got a shot here. So let me just pull this up. Okay. Okay, so obviously that's a shot there of what Gringotts Bank looks like. Okay, so this is the one set for me that has kind of underwhelmed me. I have to be completely honest. Um, it looks, compared to the movie counterpart, I think the movie counterpart version is much better. This looks very, very plain to me. It's just four pillars and it's all too grey. It's devoid of any colour. The architecture is a little bit flat and a little bit plain for me. Again, I'm not saying I'm like massively disappointed for it, but it's just something that looks a bit plain to me. What's that green thing on the roof? That looks to be a person in a green screen. One second. Let me just blow that up and let me see if I can. It looks. One second. It looks like. Yeah, I don't know. It looks like a person wearing like a green skin tight suit. I'm not really sure. That's kind of weird. So what's that green thing on the roof? It looks like a person in a kind of green skin suit that they're going to kind of edit out. They do put people in green skin suits and they move around objects. Then they edit the person out to make it look like something's floating. Okay, so Zazman Review says, I think they'll add CGI to make it look taller. That's possible. They may do that. They may add extra things in with CGI, so we do have to bear that in mind. But I'm just saying, from this picture alone, it looks a little bit plain, and I was a little bit disappointed with the design. But again, it's not something that I'm going to harp on about. It's not something that's going to irk me, keep me awake at night, so to speak. Wyatt says definitely too plain. Kimmy says, looks like a Muggles bank, not a wizard bank. Yeah, it looks like a bank that you would see in the high street. Like out here in the UK, this is the kind of bank design you would see in the high street. Not something you would expect in the Wizarding world. Maybe they'll add some creatures or something later, and in the pictures it's not finished yet. Yeah, that's true. You may bring up a good point. They may not have finished it at that point in the construction. Zazman Reviews, I like that they got the year correct in terms of when Gringotts was built, 1474. That's a good detail. And Black Uni Griffin, yeah, there's lights there. It seems like a green screen model. Yeah, basically, if you see anything that's painted in bright green or bright blue, that's either a blue screen or a green screen, and that means they're going to edit it out of the final edit. That's basically what it means. And do you know what I just realized? Where is it? Down below in this direction, I've still got the Finding Harry Potter watch party sign. I need to change that. I completely forgot to change that. Need to change it back, but it's not a big deal. But yeah, so I mean, everything else looks pretty good, but again, it's very dark. They haven't showed any magic yet. So there's a few things where I'm kind of like, you squint your eyes and you're kind of like, I'm a little bit cautiously optimistic about that. Zazman Review says, the inside is more important. Wyatt brings up a good point. The inside is obviously more important. I'm sure they'll reveal that at some point. Zazman Reviews, did you see the casting director said Hermione will have main character energy? I hope she doesn't take Ron's moments from the book in the show like she did in the movies. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, if you've heard Arabella Stanton talking in interviews, she literally is Hermione Granger. And in the movie, she stole a lot of the heroic kind of brave moments that, Ron has in the books. So hopefully they make Ron a more accurate version of the books rather than the kind of the comedic satire point they did in the movies. So I'm interested with that. But yeah, of course. I mean, she is one of the main characters anyway. So the fact that they say that she's going to have main character energy, I mean, her, Ron, and Harry, they're the main characters. So of course they're going to have main character energy. I mean, would you expect anything less? And we know what she's like. She's a goody two-shoes. She's always answering questions. She's a teacher's pet. All that kind of stuff. So of course we expect, we expect kind of main character energy from her. But I say, give her all the acting, give her all the screen time. Arabella Stanton, again, my favorite casting. So the more we see of her, the better. I think she's going to kill it. I think she's going to be the most standout performance of the entire show, in my opinion. I don't know that for a fact. Obviously, I haven't seen all the other cast members yet. But I think for me, she's going to kill it. And I think she's going to be the best person in the series. That's what I think. But again, I don't know that for a fact. I'm just guessing. But there we are. So, we've been going for about an hour now, guys. We're going to go for another sort of 5 minutes or so. And then we'll kind of finish off the stream. It's only going to be about an hour or so tonight. I do have other things I need to get to, errands to run. I need to make dinner as well. I haven't eaten all day. I'm absolutely starving. It's been one of those days where I've been kind of all over the place. Like, it's been kind of chaotic. You know what it's like, guys. In the middle of the week when you got errands to run and things to do and jobs and, you know, everything going on in life, and it's kind of crazy. But I did want to fit this live stream in. I owe it to you guys, and I owe it to you guys to give you guys the best content I can. So I wanted to fit this live stream in for you guys, of course. I didn't want to let anyone down. Okay, do you think we'll see Quirrell actually break into the bank and steal the stone? Ooh, that's a good question. I wonder. I'm not actually sure. Again, they're going to be adding in kind of additional content and additional scenes, and you know, that's such an important character point that it would make sense that they would show it to some degree. How much depth they're going to go into with that, I don't know. But that, you bring up a good point. I think, you know, that's an important sequence, and they would show it. Or would they leave it vague and kind of leave it up to the viewer's imagination as to how he did it and how he went about it? Again, I don't know, but like, it's an interesting point. Okay, one good thing is that the series can make improvements every season. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, isn't it? As you go along, you take the feedback from the fan base. So after the first season comes out, you're going to hear a lot of complaining about things that people didn't like. And then as they go forward, obviously they shot season 1 and 2 back to back, so they wouldn't be able to really improve it for season 2. But as they go further, you know, take the fan feedback on board, and then use the fan feedback to kind of, you know, improve the show as they go along, and so on and so on and so on. Much like Lord of the Rings of Power, season 1 was kind of good, but season 2 was a massive improvement because they took on board the fan criticism from season 1 of Rings of Power, and season 2 was leaps and bounds better than season 1 because they listened to the feedback. And that's kind of an example there of how they can improve stuff. Okay, where are we here? So, wait, there's more than one episode of Finding Harry? Edits by Ruby. No, there isn't. As far as we know, there isn't more than one episode. They could potentially put out more episodes in the future. They could drop more behind the scenes kind of special features on HBO Max as we get closer to the release of the series. They may do that, we don't know, but at the moment there's only one 30-minute documentary that we know of. There could be more coming, but again, that's kind of speculation. We don't know at the moment. But yeah, Ruby, there's only one at the moment, so don't worry about that. Zazman Reviews, I'm in the middle of a move. Your streams help me through it. Oh, well, I'm glad that we can be here as a community, Zazman Reviews. I'm glad that we can be here to help you kind of chill out, de-stress, and kind of take a break from whatever, you know, things that are going on in the real world. That you can be here, join in the Wizarding World and the community, even if it's just for an hour. And I hope you guys can relax. It takes your mind off other things, other problems you may be having. And as a community, we can kind of just, you know, chat and be friends and, you know, dive into the Wizarding World. So I'm great that this stream can be there for you, Zazman Reviews. If we think about Quirrell as the only person to break into Gringotts with anyone's help, Harry had the help of Griphook and Ron and Hermione. Kimmy says, watching Prisoner of Azkaban tonight, watched Chamber of Secrets yesterday. That sounds like a great evening to spend there. Prisoner of Azkaban, that's a great film. That's a lot of people's favorites. That's a lot of people's favorite movie. My favorite one, what was my favorite one? The Goblet of Fire. My favorite one's The Goblet of Fire, the Triwizard Tournament. I love that so much. That's my favorite movie. But I know The Prisoner of Azkaban, I think that's probably going to sit at the top for most people's favorite film in the franchise. Prisoner of Azkaban is probably the best one. Again, so you see what I mean? Wyatt is saying the same thing. Prisoner of Azkaban probably, you know, ranks the top for a lot of people. Zazman Reviews, I think we'll get the next trailer either in July at Comic-Con or Back to Hogwarts Day in September. Yeah, I think Back to Hogwarts is going to be massive. I think there will be a release of some sort of information. But I'm going to Back to Hogwarts this year. King's Cross Station, I think it's 12 o'clock when everyone meets up there with their wands and their cosplay. I'm going this year. I'm going to film it. I'm so excited. I missed out on it last year, but I'm going this year 100%. I'm going to be Back to Hogwarts, King's Cross Station. I think it's 12 o'clock, the 1st of September. And I'm like, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But I do need to get myself some robes and costumes and stuff. If I can afford it, because the robes aren't exactly cheap. They're like 70, 80 pounds each, so they're quite expensive. Chamber of Secrets is my favorite, Kimmy says. Yeah, Chamber of Secrets is quite a good one. I like Chamber of Secrets. My favorite film is Order of the Phoenix, Sazman Review says. Least favorite is Goblet of Fire, because it cut out way too much of the book moments. Yeah, I completely understand that. I do get that to a point, but I love Goblet of Fire. I think it's amazing. My favorite films is the first one, as they pretty much used all the dialogue in the book word for word. Yeah, I do like the Philosopher's Stone. I love the Christmas. I love all the Christmas scenes, man. Like, it's hard to deny that the Christmas scenes are so cool. They bring so much joy. Like, I love Christmas as it is. Christmas just feels magical. But when you have Christmas inside the Wizarding World, it like 10 times the amount of magic. That's why when we first saw the trailer and we saw Quidditch taking place in the snow with the snowy scenes for the upcoming HBO series, the snow just makes everything look more magical. And I can't wait to see Quidditch in the snow. That's going to be amazing. Okay, Wyatt says, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? I love it so much. Dumbledore said calmly. Dumbledore said calmly. Did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? That's a really bad accent. At 11 a.m, Ryan, the time the Hogwarts Express leaves. Yeah, 11 a.m, 12 p.m, whatever the time was, Kimmy. I knew it was around about that time. I couldn't remember off the top of my head. I'll have to make sure I get the time right, though. If I'm going to actually go, I want to make sure I turn up on time. I turn up an hour after the event's taken place, and I'm like the only guy in King's Cross Station. I'm like, where is everyone? And then someone walks up to me. They're like, yeah, you know the event was an hour ago? I'm like, oh, shit. Okay, Zazman says, I wish we got more holidays in the films, like Easter and Valentine's Day. That's what I'm excited for. Do you think we'll get multiple Quidditch matches in season 1? I hope they don't skip the Slytherin match. Yeah, I mean, if they're doing like a tournament, I think we're going to get like a compilation of like different teams, you know, different houses going against each other, and they go into more depth about it. And I'm excited to see it. I really am. People love Quidditch, and it was one of the big complaints from the films that they didn't spend enough time focusing on some of the Quidditch. They want the Quidditch games to last longer, go into more depth about it, and hopefully we do see it at some point. In the trailer, there's a shot where the Slytherins are holding a banner saying "Win Slytherin." Yeah, there probably is. At this point, I've talked about so much Harry Potter content that I'm trying to make room inside my brain for all of the stuff I've been discussing recently. So, you know, like, it's just trying to fit it all in there, guys. I'm trying to hold on to the most important points. But anyway, guys, I think that's going to be it. We've been going for an hour and 10 minutes, roughly. It's been a great stream. It's been great to hang out with you guys on a Wednesday evening. The next live stream, either Friday or Saturday. I'm not exactly sure which day yet. We're definitely going to do one Sunday. But it may be Friday or Saturday. I'm not exactly sure yet. I will let you guys know as soon as I know. I've got like some plans I've got to get to and some things I have to do. So it may be Friday, it may be Saturday. Again, I will let you guys know either on the community tab or I'll just let you guys know somehow when the next stream is going to be. Probably Friday. Probably Friday, if I had to guess. We've got one more comment here. Last year, King's Cross Station asked Harry Potter fans not to come at 11, so I didn't go last year. Where do people arrange the London 1st September meetup? I don't know, Hannah. I would have to look more into that. I've never actually been to the event myself, so I would have to dive into a bit more and look at the arrangements and how people meet up and stuff like that. I would have to look into it a bit more. But as we get closer to September, any information that comes out about this year's meet, for Back to Hogwarts, I will, you know, talk about the information, where we can meet, how we can meet, the time, the location, all that kind of stuff as we get closer to that date. So, you know, rest assured, I will give you guys that information as we get closer. Can we get some of the actors on the live stream? Are you talking about you want some of the actors from the series to be on this live stream? I would welcome that any day of the week, to give me an opportunity to interview Dominic McLaughlin or Arabella Stanton. You know, if they're watching, if anyone from HBO is watching, I would love to interview them. I would love to do that. That would be incredible. But there we go, guys. So thanks so much for sending in all those questions. Again, thanks so much for chilling out here, joining in, being part of the community, and just joining me here in the Wizarding World. I really do appreciate that, guys. Stay tuned to the channel as I put out more content, and the next live stream will either be Friday or Saturday, and I will see you guys in the very next video. Thank you once again. You guys are the best, and I will see you then.